As President Trump refuses to acknowledge his election loss and makes baseless claims about voter fraud, many top Republicans are enabling his denial. Let's discuss with Cindy McCain. She's the widow of the late Republican Senator John McCain. She's now a member of the Biden Transition Advisory Board. Thanks so much for joining us. And I want to get your reaction to what we just heard. Former President Obama just spoke out about the president's adamant refusal, at least so far, to accept the election results. He gave an interview to Scott Pelley of CBS News. Listen to this.
What are these false claims of widespread election fraud doing to our country right now?
They appear to be motivated in part because the president doesn't like to lose and never admits loss. I'm more troubled by the fact that other Republican officials who clearly know better are going along with this, are humoring him in this fashion. It is one more step in delegitimizing not just the incoming Biden administration, but democracy generally. And that's a dangerous path.
Are you, like the former president, troubled by, do you think your late husband would be troubled by Republicans who are, quote, humoring the president right now?
Yes, I do believe he'd be very troubled by this. As you know, he not only believed but lived the ideals of the democratic process. And the fact that our newly elected president, our president-elect, does not have access to any of the security briefings that he needs, does not have access to the folks within the administration that are working on the pandemic and on COVID itself. It's not only a terrible thing to have happen, but it's also detrimental to this country. It's dangerous for this to occur. It's time that the president get on the right side of history and make sure that our incoming president has all the things he needs to begin with his feet on the ground.
These are life and death issues. There are so many American lives are on the line right now because of this coronavirus pandemic. What do you think, Cindy, that Senator McCain, an icon in the Republican Party, would be saying to his former Senate colleagues right now who seem to be willing to simply disregard democracy, baselessly back the president right now?
Well, they used to call it going McCain on people. I think he'd be going McCain on all kinds of people because that's not what we are. That's not what this democratic process is about. We are a country that passes peaceful transition between administrations. That's the way it's always been. And I'm quite certain my husband would be yelling at the top of his lungs at his colleagues and with his colleagues to help stop this.
And I'm sure he would have a significant impact at a sensitive moment like this. We all remember how Senator McCain boldly went against President Trump, giving a thumbs down vote on replacing the Affordable Care Act. Does it make any sense to you that Republicans in Congress refuse to demonstrate even a fraction of that conviction, even after the election is over and the president clearly now is a lame duck?
I can't answer those questions because I think each person has to live with their own thoughts on this. I do know that it's important that we remind people, we as citizens remind our elected officials that we demand from them the right to a free and fair election, and that we demand, more importantly, that a peaceful transition occur, and most importantly, giving our president-elect the kinds of tools he needs to enter office. Without that, I mean, who are we? We're no different than any other country that doesn't have free and fair elections.
Well said, indeed. Cindy McCain, thanks so much for joining us. We all miss Senator McCain, a great American and a great man.